Good afternoon, parents all over the world. How are you today? This is your girl, Dr. Tolufa Fora, with World of a Parent. Um, we've been looking forward to today, with the very high pulse topic that we are going to be discussing today. Again, our topic today is child sexual abuse. What is child sexual abuse? Sounds as if it's self explanatory, right? Child sexual abuse. We're talking about abuse. So abuse are the sexual in nature and of a child. Yes, but I submit to you that there's actually a little more to it than meets the eye. Also, the acronym for that is CSA. But it's to define it, it's a form of child abuse that includes sexual activity, a form of abuse that includes sexual activity with a minor. Now, because this child cannot consent to any form of sexual activity, you cannot say it was a consensual activity with the child. So, because it cannot be consensual, it is essentially a crime against the child. It's sexual engagement with the child in a way that it is a crime. It's a crime, period. Now, sexual abuse does not need to include physical contact. I bet a lot of our parents did not know that. Now, what are the forms then? Because I bet this is also something new that you're hearing, that it doesn't even have to be physical in nature. Now, the different types that we have include exhibitionism, when a man or woman exposes themselves to a minor. It could be fondling, it could be actual sexual intercourse, masturbation in the presence of a child, or forcing the minor or the child to masturbate. Obscene phone calls, text messages, or digital interaction. It could be production of pornographic movies using children, owning or sharing pornographic images or movies of children is actually a form of sexual abuse as well. When you own pornographic images of children or you're sharing pornographic images of children is a form of sexual abuse. Now, sex of any kind with a minor, including virginal, oral, and anal sex, they are all forms of child sexual abuse, or CSA. Now, sex trafficking, God help us. This is something that has been going on, is still going on, is heart wrenching, is heartbreaking. And there are children out there that are trapped in this world of sex trafficking. It's funny, but I guess this is well, not in a laughable sense, but that I have to use this. If you see something, say something, because there are times that we see something that just looks weird, you know, involving a child. Please say it. I will know why I'm pleading with parents out there to say something if they suspect anything. Any other sexual conduct that is harmful to a child's mental, emotional, or physical welfare are all forms of CSA. I want to share some statistics with you, parents, so that this will be real. Okay, so this will be real to you. The prevalence of child sexual abuse is actually difficult to accurately determine. Why? Because it's not often reported. Actually, adult sexual abuses are hardly reported, let alone children. I guess that goes without saying. What voice do they have? Who are they going to report to? How do they even get to the authorities? You know what that tells me? It ultimately depends on the adults, namely the parents, if they have parents present or caregivers that form the bridge between these children and the authorities. So if we're saying we cannot accurately determine, well, yeah, with the number, as I'm going to share in a minute, of CSA cases that we see every day and indeed every year. But it's more so that, I'm sorry to say, I'm going to be very direct, the adults in these children's lives are irresponsible, they are mean, they are wicked, they're self-preservatory in a sick way. That is why some of these cases go unreported, unsolved, and the perpetrators, they go unpunished. But let me get back to the statistics. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Bureau for Reporting Child Maltreatment, found that 9.2% of victimized children are sexual victimization. They were sexually assaulted. Talking about all of victimized children in general, 9.2 of those constitute sexual assault on the children. 1 in 5 girls, and by the way, sexual abuse is not only for girls. 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 20 boys is a victim of sexual abuse. Let me put that in a picture for you. You go on the streets, you look randomly at 5 girls. Chances are that one of those is being sexually abused or has been sexually abused. Isn't that bothersome? Isn't that sick? When you go outside, go to a store, go to a marketplace, look outside your window, and if you can count 5 little girls, chances are that one of them is being abused or has been abused. And 1 in 20 boys is being abused or has been abused. Well, during another statistic that I need you to know is during a 1-year period in the United States, during a 1-year time frame, 16% of youth ages 14 to 17 years have been sexually victimized. 16% during a 1-year time period. Now, in the course of their lifetime, this same age group, ages 14 to 17-year-olds, during their lifetime, at least 28% of them have been sexually abused. This is sick. In a lifetime of a 14 to 17-year-old, you can be, according to statistics, 28% would have been sexually abused. Now, children, this is something, a discussion that is not new. This is an awareness that, is there, but for whatever reason, is pushed to the back burner for adults in general. But year by year, and I say this speaking to some of my my medical colleagues, my psychiatric friends, and the cases that they see, it's appalling that I think maybe, just maybe, because there's a little more of reporting being done, the ages are going lower and lower of these children being, I want to use the word, attacked. Because this is an attack on them. So children are most vulnerable to CSA between ages 7 and 13. Can you imagine what a 7-year-old looks like? A 7-year-old being abused.